Most people know Hera as the Queen of Olympus, but she was not the first. Before the jealousy, before the wars, Zeus had a different wife. A wife whose wisdom saved him, but whose destiny terrified him. Her name was Metis, the tightness of wisdom. Long before Zeus ruled the cosmos, he was just a rebel. It was Metis who crafted the poison that forced Cronus to disgorge Zeus's siblings. Without her cunning, the Olympians might never have won the Titanomachy. She was his first love and his greatest counselor. But in Greek mythology, power always comes with a price. As Metis became pregnant with their first child, a dark prophecy emerged. Gaia and Uranus, the primordial deities, whispered a warning to the king of gods. A warning that chilled him to the bone. They foretold that Metis would bear 2 children. The first, a daughter equal to him in strength. But the second would be a son. A son who would become the king of gods and men, overthrowing Zeus just as Zeus had overthrown his own father, Cronus. The cycle of the son killing the father terrified him. Zeus vowed to stop it, not by war, but by deception. He approached Metis with soft words. He knew he couldn't defeat her in a battle of wits, so he challenged her pride instead. "They say you are the wisest," Zeus said. "But can you change your form? Can you become a roaring lion?" She smiled, confident in her magic. In an instant, she transformed. Then Zeus asked, "But can you become something small, like a drop of water?" Metis, letting her guard down, shrank into a tiny form. A fatal mistake for the goddess of wisdom. Seizing the moment, Zeus did the unthinkable. He didn't imprison her. He opened his mouth and swallowed his pregnant wife whole. He believed the problem was solved. With Metis inside him, her wisdom became his, and the prophecy of the sun was averted. But the gods are not so easily erased. Metis was gone, but the child she carried was immortal. Ages later, a splitting headache struck the king. It was a pain so intense, it felt like an axe cleaving his skull. Desperate for relief, he ordered Hephaestus to crack his head open, and from the wound, no blood flowed. Instead, out sprang Athena, fully grown, clad in golden armor, shouting a war cry that shook the heavens. She was the daughter from the prophecy, equal to her father in strength and wisdom. But she was loyal. Because she was born from his head, she was truly his daughter. The threat was neutralized. But what of the son? The son who was destined to replace Zeus? He was never born. Metis remained inside Zeus forever, whispering counsel from within his belly. The source of his cunning, but a prisoner for eternity. Zeus kept his throne, but at the cost of the only person who truly understood him. High above the clouds, Mount Olympus stood eternal. But inside its golden halls, peace was shattering. Zeus, the king of gods, had grown arrogant. He ruled not with wisdom, but with fear and tyranny. He treated his family like servants. Every god, every goddess lived in terror of his sudden rages. But even immortality has a breaking point. Hera, the queen, could no longer watch her husband destroy their home. In the shadows, a conspiracy was born. Hera recruited the 2 most powerful allies she could find. Poseidon, lord of the seas, who resented his brother's absolute power over the universe. And Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Even his favorite daughter believed the king had to be stopped. They knew they couldn't kill him, so they forged a weapon to contain him, nets and chains of unbreakable gold. They waited for the deepest part of the night. The king of the cosmos slept, unaware of the betrayal at hand. Silently, the conspirators crept into the royal chamber. One wrong move, and the lightning would strike. They struck. Before Zeus could summon his bolt, the golden net was cast. He woke up into a nightmare. He roared, shaking the foundations of Olympus. But the hundreds of knots held firm. The king was trapped. Athena, wise and quick, stole his thunderbolt. Without his weapon, Zeus was just a prisoner in his own bed. The rebels rejoiced. They had done the impossible. The tyrant was down. But then, the laughter stopped.
A fitting end.
Victory turned to greed. Hera claimed the throne. Poseidon demanded it by right of birth. The alliance crumbled. Only one person saw the danger. The Nereid Thetis knew a civil war would destroy everything. She fled Olympus and dove into the deepest pits of Tartarus. She needed a power greater than the gods. She called upon an ancient ally of Zeus, a monster so terrible it had been locked away for eons. Briareus, the hundred-handed one. When he entered the throne room, the arguments died instantly. He did not need to fight. He simply sat by Zeus and flexed his 100 arms. The intimidation was absolute. Terrified of the beast, the rebels surrendered. They begged for mercy, but the damage was done. The chains were broken. The king was free once more, and his mercy was gone. Zeus rose, his power returning instantly. But his mercy... Even the king of gods knows fear. But first, he knew rage. Hypnos, the trickster, dared to silence him. Now the storm is coming for him. There is no escape! Desperate, Hypnos fled to the Forbidden Wall, the domain of Nyx. Zeus arrived to kill, but then he froze. Before him stood the primordial night. Her darkness swallowed his lightning. To strike the sun was to war with the mother. And that is a war Zeus cannot win. Even gods have limits. In Zeus's palace, two jars stand. One holds blessings, the other sorrows. From the golden jar, he draws gifts of wealth and peace for the lucky few. But mostly, he mixes both, creating a life of mingled joy and pain. Your faith is just a random pour from the King of Gods. Subscribe to Mythic Realm. Don't anger the night.